Hey guys, welcome to DC Station, the place where we talk all about comics, different publishers, and iconic superhero characters. In today's video, I'm diving into a breakdown of Episode 2 of Lanterns to see how this story in the DCU is unfolding and what went down in this second episode. If you're ready, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and ring that notification bell. Without further ado, let's jump straight into Episode 2. The battle between humanity and the alien invasion, along with the dark secret behind the Manhunters back in 2016, enters a whole new phase in this episode. It basically proves that Lanterns is hands down the best and most well-crafted entry in James Gunn's new DCU so far, in terms of production value, direction, and story depth. This episode picks up right after that shocking, out-of-nowhere alien explosion from last week, pushing the core mystery deeper while taking our two main leads' dynamic to a whole new level. The first thing that really grabs your attention is the training scene between Hal and John Stewart. Hal is trying to teach John how to use his ring to fly. John stumbles with the actual flying part, but he pulls off something absolutely incredible instead. Through sheer willpower, he creates a bird out of green energy. The crazy part? When the ring actually slips off John's finger, that bird doesn't vanish. It stays up in the sky, flying around like nothing happened. This scene straight up flexes John Stewart's absolute iron willpower. Story-wise, the core mystery is pacing really well, keeping you hooked and desperate for the next episode, step by step. But the real heavy lifting for this show's success definitely falls on the cast. Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Pierre as John Stewart are killing it. The chemistry between a battle-tested, weary Hal and a rookie, hyper-determined John feels so natural and spot on. It's safe to say their performances give the whole show its soul. Now, on to one of the most sensitive, debated, and emotional parts of this episode, Hal Jordan's fate and his future in the DCU. First off, hats off to Kyle Chandler for an insane performance. He delivers the exact Hal Jordan we've been waiting years for, a veteran hero carrying deep trauma, seasoned, a bit sarcastic, and completely worn out from endless battles. After that 2011 movie disaster and years of DC sidelining him in cinematic universes, we finally got a rich, top-tier Hal Jordan you can fully connect with. Honestly, I'm still sitting here grieving over why they had to kill off this character. Even so, deep down, I'm holding on to hope. I'm hoping something happens by the end of the season where Hal isn't just written off, but actually makes his way back onto his main path. But my absolute favorite theory and dream scenario is for the creators to play it bold and adapt that legendary storyline, Parallax. Now, some of you might be asking, wait, what even is Parallax? In the comics, when Hal Jordan goes through intense emotional trauma, grief, and fear, he gets possessed by an entity named Parallax, the literal embodiment of fear in the cosmos. He goes from a legendary hero to the darkest, deadliest traitor the Lantern world has ever seen. That fall from grace is easily one of the most epic, iconic arcs in comic book history. Now we just gotta wait and see what the writers have cooked up for our favorite Lantern's fate.
All right, now it's time to move on to one of the most exciting yet most debated parts of any comic book adaptation, analyzing the show's villains. In this episode, we got a glimpse of one of the absolute titans of the Green Lantern universe, Sinestro. Coming right to the ending of this episode and Hal Jordan's confrontation with Sinestro, that scene where Hal goes to see him was hands down the most epic, pure comic book frame of the entire episode. Sinestro is literally the only character or entity in the whole show so far that has kept his fully comic-accurate alien appearance. Even though his screen time here was super brief, just a couple of seconds, that was more than enough to showcase his raw presence, phenomenal design, and menacing prestige. His look was spot on with what comic fans were hoping for, and I was completely sold. I can't wait to see what DC has planned for his future. Now guys, there was another character in this episode that a lot of people are claiming is Atrocidus. Even when the actor was cast, tons of articles were reporting that he's playing Atrocidus. But since it's still not 100% confirmed, I'm gonna hold off on sharing my thoughts for now. Once it's officially clear who he is in future episodes, we'll dive right into him. That brings us to the most straight-up part of this video, the moment where, as a longtime Green Lantern comic fan, I've got to drop some real, honest critiques on the show. Look guys, I said it at the start and I'll say it again. Lanterns is a total masterpiece when it comes to production quality, cinematography, acting, and story pacing. So far, it's easily the best entry in the DCU. But if you're looking at it through the lens of a comic fan, this show is honestly not a good adaptation of the Green Lantern comics. When you're watching it, you don't feel like you're watching a cosmic, epic sci-fi series packed with fantasy lantern elements. It feels way more like you're watching a grounded, gritty detective procedural, like True Detective, where the writers occasionally inject a few tiny elements from the lantern lore just to check off a box. Sure, the sci-fi elements popped up a bit more compared to the first episode, but it's still astronomical light years away from the massive, wonder-filled universe we get in the comics. To sum it up, if you're like me, a die-hard Green Lantern comic fan craving an action-packed cosmic spectacle filled with epic construct battles, this show might bum you out a little, and you might not vibe with it as much. But on the flip side, if you're a casual viewer who isn't super familiar with the comics and you're just looking for a top-tier, grounded crime mystery, this is easily going to become one of your favorite shows ever. Now, let's get into what was by far the most frustrating part of this episode for me, Hal Jordan's suit design. Right from the first trailers, I had a bone to pick with the color palette of the costume. The green could have been way brighter, punchier, and more iconic instead of this dark, washed-out shade. But color aside, two other things completely drove me up the wall. First, Hal barely ever wears the damn thing. Like, when you're playing a Green Lantern, we expect to actually see you in the suit during missions and fights, not just walking around in casual street clothes. And the second thing that really rubbed me the wrong way was completely scrapping his iconic domino mask. That mask is literally part of Hal's iconic visual identity, so ditching it just felt totally off to me. That suit could have been 1,000 times better, way more comic accurate, and so much cooler with just a few quick color tweaks and that slick mask added back in.
Look, guys, I know the mask isn't completely gone, but he barely wears it, even less than the actual suit. Overall, Episode 2 of Lanterns kept the momentum going right from where the premiere left off. The mystery is getting deeper step by step, and the pieces are coming together in a way that leaves you completely hooked for the next episode. Despite my gripes about the suit and how they're handling the adaptation, you can't deny that we're looking at a genuinely well-made, gripping show here. My only real worry for the rest of the season is that I really hope it doesn't suffer the same fate as Peacemaker Season 2. Remember how insane the hype was for those final episodes, only for the ending to feel kinda underwhelming, with no real mind-blowing twists to make us lose our minds? I really hope the Lanterns team keeps their foot on the gas all the way through and delivers an absolute masterpiece of a finale. Alright guys, that's a wrap on my full breakdown of Lanterns Episode 2. What'd you think of this episode? Are you digging the grounded detective vibe, or were you hoping for something way more cosmic and comic booky? And how do you feel about the costume tweaks or Atrocidus' look? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming breakdowns. Until the next video, peace out.